praises and glory goes to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. All praises and glory goes to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the ministry of Master Roel. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is Brother Boaz on the set once again. In this thing, you must exercise patience, okay? Patience and endurance and be steadfast in the name of Yahweh Yahweh Shai. And just know that you will go through your tribulations, okay? It comes with the territory. We're not going to have just a sit down kingdom and just walk in, and the Yahweh Shai is going to try us, okay? We're going to go through a lot of tribulations. Okay, like I discussed with you on time and time again, you're gonna lose your house, you're gonna lose your kids, you're gonna lose your job, you're gonna be homeless in this thing, okay? But you have to keep 10 toes down and Yahweh Yahweh Shai, okay? And just know that he's up there fighting for you so you can make it out with your life, okay? I don't know about you, but I want to make it out on the first train of Georgia out of here, okay, to Georgia. I don't want to be caught up with this thing when this thing finally comes to pass, okay? I want to make it out with my life, okay? That's what this is about. Okay, turn to the book of Sirach. You're going to go through it, okay? It comes with the territory. You're going to go through your tribulations. That's for sure. The book of Sirach, chapter 4, verse 28. Strive for the truth unto death, and Yahweh will fight for thee, okay? So Yahweh Shah will fight for you, okay? If you in this thing, okay? If you have steadfast endurance and be steadfast in his name, okay? He will fight for you, okay? He's up there as an advocate to us, okay, fighting for our cause, okay. That's what this is about. The book of Hebrews, chapter 2, verse 16. Let's start at verse 15. Okay. Hebrews chapter 2, verse 15. Deliver them who do the fear of death, that were a lifetime subject to bondage. For verily he took not on himself the nature of angels, but he took on himself the seed of Abraham. Wherefore in all things and beloved him he made like unto his brethren, he might be merciful and faithful as a high priest in things pertaining to power, to make recognition for the sins of those people. For in fact, he himself was suffered, being tempted. He is able to scorn them that are tempted. Okay, so Yahweh shines up there. Let's get that in the NET version. Yahweh shines up there. He's fighting for us. Okay. He wants to see us be delivered, okay? He takes no pleasure in the death, okay? So, like it says in the book of Ezekiel, why should you die, okay? That's what this is about. Why should you die? Turn to the book of Hebrews. The book of Hebrews, chapter 2, verse 16. For surely his concern is not with angels, but concern for Abraham's descendants. Therefore, he is made to be like his brothers and sisters in every respect, so that he could be a merciful and faithful high priest and relating to things of power to make atonement to them for the sins of the people, okay? For since himself he suffered when he was tempted, he is able to help those who are tempted. Okay, so Yahweh Shai, he's up there fighting for us on a day-to-day basis. Okay, he wants to see us make it. Okay, like I said once again, I don't know about you, but I want to make it out on this midnight train and joy destroyed when this thing comes to pass. Okay, so but just know that you are going to have to go to your set tribulations and your trials and your trials and tribulations. The book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 14. Therefore, since we have a great high priest who hath passed through the heavens, Yahweh Shai, the Son of Power, let us hold fast unto our confession. For we do not have a high priest incapable of sympathy with our weaknesses, but one who will be tempted in every way, just as we are, yet without sin. Okay, so Yahweh Shai is our high priest. Okay, and he's up there fighting for us. Turn to the book of Ezekiel. The book of Ezekiel, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 18, verse 31, KJV. Away yourself transgressions, whereby ye have was transgressed, and make yourself a new heart and a new spirit. For why should you die, O house of Israel? For I take no pleasure in the death of him that dieth, say Yahweh. Wherefore turn ye and live. Okay, so Yahweh shall take no pleasure in the death of anybody. Okay, seek Yahweh, Yahweh Shai while you still can, okay? 40 more days until Nineveh's overthrown, okay? 40 more days until America's overthrown. You don't got much more time left, okay? You got to repent and come back to the one who made you, okay? While there's still a chance. Okay, one moment. Turn to the book of Isaiah. The book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 6. Seek Yahweh while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. Let the wicked either forsake their way, and the unrighteous man from his thoughts, and let him return unto Yahweh, and he will have mercy upon him, and unto the power, for he will abundantly pardon. Okay, so that's what this is about, okay? You don't want to be caught up with the second death when this thing comes to pass, thermonuclear fire, okay? You want to be saved when this thing finally comes to pass, okay? You and your loved ones, okay? You don't want to be destroyed, okay, when this thing comes to pass. That's why Yahweh Shai, because it seemed like it's taking a long time. Okay, it seems that way, but really it's not. Turn to the book of Habakkuk. The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 2. Write down the message record legibly on tablets so that the one who now it may be easy, it may reads it easily. For the message is a witness for what is decreed. It gives reliable testimony about how matters will turn out, even if the message does not fully right, it's not fulfilled right away. Wait patiently for it, for it will surely come to pass, and it will not arrive late. Okay, so it will not arrive late. Okay, so it seems that way. Okay, and if you so, like we discussed on multiple occasions, you're gonna lose everything in this truth. Okay, that comes with the job description, okay? You're gonna lose your family, like we discussed, okay? You're gonna lose your job. You might even be homeless. Let's get it. That's why we need to be content. The book of, this is from an NET version, the book of Psalms 36, verse 11. Do not let arrogant men overtake me or let evil men make me homeless, okay? So it comes, once again, it comes with a job description, okay? The book of Lamentations. Book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 20. Remember my impoverished and homeless condition, which is a bitterness poison. Okay, so that's what this is about, okay? 40 more days until America's overthrown, okay? 40 more days until America's overthrown, okay? The time is short on America. Yahweh does say Yahweh, okay? The book of Jonah, chapter 3, verse 4. Jonah began to enter the city, going by a day's walk, announcing, at the end of 40 days, and Nineveh will be overthrown, okay? America's destroyed, okay? The so called white man's destiny is slavery, okay? That's what this is about, okay? The so called white man's destiny is slavery. And we want to be the ones to make it out with our life. Okay, I want my ticket to Georgia out of here. Okay, I don't want to be destroyed when the so-called white man goes down. Okay, you figure, like we discussed. Okay, the so-called white man had it good, considering Yahweh Shah hates this man. Okay, considering that Yahweh Shah hates this man, he had it good. Okay, let the judgment come upon him. Okay, trying to save the so-called white man, okay? It doesn't matter if you try to save him or not, he's going to go down. Come back to the KJV. Doesn't matter if you try to save this so-called white man if you want to, and be destroyed with this man when this thing comes down. The book of Proverbs 11, verse 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Okay, so you could join in hand with the so-called white man if you want to. You're gonna be destroyed with this man when this thing comes to pass. Okay, one moment. Turn to the book of Isaiah. The book of Isaiah, we're starting at verse 9. The book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 9. Behold, behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners out of it. Okay, so what's Yahweh is coming to do? When he get here to destroy the sinners out of it, okay, many is going to be slain by the Lord, okay, when this thing comes to pass, okay, many is going to be slain by the Lord. Verse 11, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquities, and I will cause the arrogance of the proud to cease, and lay ways low the haughtiness and the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man of tried gold, wedge of offers. Therefore I will shake the heavens and the earth and remove it out of her place. And in the day of wrath of Yahweh of hosts, in the day of his fierce anger, and it shall come, and it shall be as a chafed roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall ever man turn to his own people and flee on to his own land. Everyone that is found shall be thrusted through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall be fall by the sword. Okay, so you could join yourself with the so-called white man if you want to. Okay, you're gonna fall by the sword. Okay, that's what this is about. You could join yourself with the so-called white man if you want to, but you're gonna fall by the sword. Okay, if you're an Israelite, don't take the mark of the beast like we discussed, okay? But if you're Edomite, underneath the sound of my voice, once again, like we discussed, just take it so you can feed your family. Don't pressure you and your family. But if and you feel like this doctrine is vibes with you and it sits well with you, go ahead. Don't take the mark of the beast, okay? And keep calling on Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, okay? It's all about Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, okay? That's what this is about. It's all about him. Turn to the book of Acts. Okay, one moment. The book of Acts chapter 4, verse 12. Any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. Jumping up to verse 10. Be it known unto all be it known unto you all and to all the people of Israel that by the name of Yahweh, the name of Yahweh Mashiach the Nazarene, whom you crucified, this man raised from the dead, even by him does this man stand before you whole today. This is the stone which you was set at now by you builders, which has become the head of the corner, okay? So it's all about Yahweh Shai, okay? And if they're not teaching you Yahweh Shai, I'll get up and walk out. Even if they teaching Yahweh Shai, they're not teaching you the doctrine of the fully about Yahweh Shai. The book of Acts chapter 2, verse 36. Therefore, all you house of Israel, know surely that even Yahweh have made this Yahweh whom you crucified both Lord and Messiah, okay? Mashiach, okay? That's what this is about. You want to know what this is about? That's what this is about, okay? And you have to serve Yahweh Shai, and keep your posture in him, okay? So you can make it out with your life, okay? That's what in all these other camps and groups, they can't help you, okay, when this day comes to pass, okay? They're not going to be able to help you when this thing finally materializes. Turn to the book of Jeremiah. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 5, verse 29. I will certainly punish them for their doing such things, said Yahweh. I will certainly bring about retribution such as a nation as this. Something horrible and shocking is going on in the land of Judah. The prophets prophesy lies, the priests exercise power by their own authority, and my people love to have it this way. But what shall you, but they will not be able to help you when time of judgment comes, okay? So that's what this is about. How are they going to help you when judgment comes, okay? If you're not calling on the names Yahweh Shai and have this right doctrine, okay? How they going to help you when this thing comes to pass? Okay, what's this about? The book of Isaiah chapter 10, verse 3. What will you on do on judgment day when destruction arrives from a distant place? To whom will you run for help when where will you leave your wealth? Okay, so when this thing comes to pass, what you gonna do when judgment day happens? Okay, instant, like we discussed on multiple cases, instant urinate on yourself. Why don't you? Okay, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7, verse 17. And all their hands will be hang limp, and their knees will be wet with urine. Okay, what you gonna do in that day? Okay, urinate on yourself. Why don't you? Okay, when you see the day of Yahweh Shai comes to pass on you. Okay, that's what this is about, and we're not gonna be able to have just a sit down kingdom and just say la la la, here's the kingdom. No, through tribulations we will enter into the kingdom of heaven. You got to go through your sufferings and your miseries, okay, your afflictions and your hardship. It comes with the territory, like we discussed. Okay, you gotta go through your tribulations, you gotta go through your misery. Okay, you got to drink of that cup that Yahweh Shai drunk of, okay? But he's not going to leave you, some of us, to bloodshed, but the majority of us is not going to be led to bloodshed, okay? This is a light affliction, okay? It's not a heavy affliction at all. It's a light affliction. Book of Jeremiah. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 11. For I, Yahweh, affirm that I will be with you and will rescue you. I will completely destroy the nations where I scatter you, but I will not completely destroy you. I indeed will discipline you, but only in measure. I will not allow you to go entirely unpunished. So yeah, it comes with the job territories. Okay, so if you catching hell, if you not catching hell, you better say to yourself, "Why I'm not catching hell? Why I'm not losing my job? Why I'm not losing my kids? Why I'm not losing my life?" Okay. The book of Hebrews, chapter 11, chapter 12, verse 7. The book of Hebrews. Endure your suffering as a discipline. Power is treating you as a son. For what is there a father does not discipline? But if you does not experience discipline, something all sons have shared in, then you are illegitimate and not sons, and are not sons. Okay, so if you're not going through your tribulations, if you're not going through your tribulations, if you will, you might not be of the fold of Yahweh Shai. You might not be of Yahweh Shai. Okay, you might have to be like I said. I don't. Me personally, I don't want to die. I have to be regenerated, and knowing that there is a way out of here. Okay, it's a tight way out of here, but there is a way out of here. Okay, the road is narrow thereof, but there is a way out of here. Turn to the book of Matthews. The book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 13. Enter through the narrow gate. because the is wide and that leads spacious, that leads to destruction, and there are many who enter through it. How narrow is the gate and difficult the way that leads to life, and there are few that find it. Okay, turn to the book of Second Ezra. The book of Second Ezra, chapter 7, verse 6. There is another thing. A city is built on a broad place in a broad field and is full of good things. The entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on hand, and on the left a deep water, and only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be only one man goes there at once. If this city were now given unto a man for an inheritance, if he does not pass the dangers that are before it, shall he receive his inheritance? Okay, so if you're not going through your tribulations, okay, if you're not going through your sufferings, how you going to achieve your salvation? Okay, how you going to get your crown? Okay, that's what this is about. How you going to get your crown? The book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 11. I am coming soon. Hope on what you have, so that no one can take away your crown. Okay, you don't want no one to take away your crown. Okay, you want to be in Yahweh Yahushai, and you want to endure your tests. Okay, that's what this is about. The book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 10. Do not suffer, do not be afraid of the things that you are about to suffer. The devil is about to have some of you thrown in prison so that you may be tested, and you will experience suffering for 10 days. Remain faithful even to the point of death, and I will give you the crown that is set. That is life itself. Okay, it's not going to be a sit down kingdom. Okay, you're not going to be able just to have a say, okay, that's it, Yasharala, okay, and just sit down with the bubbly and and sit down in the kingdom. No, Yahweh Shai is testing us. Okay, we have to we have to endure our tribulations, but He's not going to give us more than what we can handle on our plate. The book of First Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 13. No trial has overtaken you that is not faced by others, and power is faithful that He will not let you be tried beyond what ye are able to bear, but with the trial He will also provide a way out so that ye may be able to endure it. Okay, so Yahweh Shai is always going to provide a way out that we're able to endure it. Okay, endure these tribulations. Okay, that's what this is about. Okay, one moment. Turn to the book of Acts. Okay, give me a second here. The book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 22. Let's start at verse 21. And then one who calls on the name of Yahweh will be saved. Men of Israel, listen to these words. Yahushai the Nazarene, a man clearly attested to you by power with powerful deeds, wonders, and miraculous signs that power performed among you through him, just as you know now. This man who you handed over by the pretest, predetermined plan, and foreknowledge of power, you have executed by nailing him to a cross at the hand of the Gentiles. But power has raised him up and released him from the pain of death, because it was not possible for him to be held in its power. For David said about him, I saw the Lord always in front of me, for he is on my right hand, so that I will not be shaken. The book of Acts, chapter 4, verse 8. Then Peter, filled with the Holy Spirit, replied, rulers of the people and elders, if we are being examined today for a good deed done to a sick man, by what means this man was healed, let it be known to all of you and to all the people of Israel that by the name of Yahushai Mashiach the Nazarene, whom ye crucified, whom power has raised from the dead, this man stands before you healthy. This Yahushai is the stone that was rejected by you builders, and that has become the cornerstone. And there is no salvation in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven given among men, among people, by which we must be saved. Okay, so without Yahushai, how you gonna make it out with your life without Yahushai? Okay, how you gonna make it out with your life? Tell me that when this thing comes to pass. Okay, if you calling God Yahweh, if you calling God Yeshua, the Son, if you calling God and the Son Jehovah, Jesus, how you gonna make it out with your life, okay, if you're not calling on the right names of Yahweh, Yahweh, okay? It's impossible. The doctrine starts with the names, okay? And like we discussed on multiple occasions, like we discussed, GMS, they got it. The book of Ecclesiasticus 7, verse 10. And the elect shall praise his holy name, okay? So the elect shall praise his holy name, okay? That means you will have to obviously have the names, okay? Okay, so you can make it out with your life, okay? How you gonna make it out with your life? Tell me how you gonna make it out with your life. How you gonna make it out with your life? Tell me that. If you calling on God by Jehovah, chapter 14, verse 22. They strengthen souls of the disciples and they encourage them to continue in the faith, saying, we must enter into the kingdom of power through many persecutions. Okay, so through many persecutions, okay, we must enter to the we must enter into them, okay, enter into the kingdom, okay, into many persecutions. The book of the book of Romans chapter 8, verse, looks like verse 18. For I that the present sufferings cannot even be compared to the coming glory that will be revealed. For the creation eagerly awaits for the revelations of the sons of power. Okay, so this present suffering that we're going through, it can't be compared unto what Yahweh Yahushai got for us. Okay, the book of Romans 9, verse 19. You will say to me then, why does he still find fault? who have ever resisted his will, okay? No one resisted his will, okay? That's why it's only going to be the elect, okay? It's only going to be the elect who's already been predestined to make it out with their life, who are chosen, okay? And if you're not chosen, you won't make it out with your life for this country. You won't make it, okay? You just can't make it out with your life on this side, okay? You have to be regenerated, okay? That's how Yahweh Shai got it, okay? Besides Negroes and Latinos and so-called Native American Indians, they're so far gone. It's a mercy killing, okay? Okay, Yahweh got us over this side calling yourself, I'm an African American, I'm a Latino, I'm a Puerto Rican, okay? I'm a Native American Indian. That's how far gone we are. We lost our nationalities, okay? So you might have to be put down, okay, and regenerated, calling on God by all these other names. The book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 9. Because if ye confess with your mouth that Yahweh is Lord and believe with your heart that power raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For with the heart one believes and thus has righteousness, and with the mouth confesses and thus have salvation. For the scriptures have said, everyone who believes in me will not be put to shame, okay? That's what this is about. Turn to the book of Timothy. The book of Timothy 6, verse 6. These scriptures are coming from the NET version. How now godliness combined with contentment brings great profit, okay? So be content with what you have, okay? Be content with what you already have. We're not going to have much, but we thankful for what we have, okay? If you got 3 hots in a cot, you got a roof over your shoulder, your head, you're doing pretty good, okay? That's what this is about. This gives Yahweh Shai pleasure to humble us like this, so we can keep and glorifying his holy name. The book of Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5. Okay, one moment. For your conduct must be free from the love of money, and you must be content on what ye have. For he hath said, I will never leave you, and I will never abandon you. And so we can say confidently, Yahweh is my helper, and I will not be afraid. What can people do to me, okay? The book of Revelation chapter 7, verse 14. So I said unto him, My Lord, you know, and answered. Then he said to me, These are the ones who have come out of great tribulations. They have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. For this reason they are before the throne of power, and they serve him day and night in the temple, and the one seated on the throne will shelter them, okay? Which is Yahweh, okay? Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, okay? So that's what this is about. How you gonna make it out of here with your life, okay? If you not on God by the right names, how you gonna make it out with your life? If you said, "Oh, this is boring," how you gonna make it out with your life if you said ISUBK? How you gonna make it out with your life if you say GOCC? How you gonna make it out with your life if you say ISUC? All these false camp groups, okay? It's impossible, okay? You won't make it out with your life on this one, okay? Not with your life, okay, when this thing comes to pass. Turn to the book of Jeremiah. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 45, verse 3. Let's start at verse 2. Jeremiah 45, verse 2. Jeremiah said, power. Okay, one moment. Jeremiah said, Yahweh, power of Israel, has said, best is for you, Baruch. You have said, I feel so hopeless, for Yahweh has added sorrow to my suffering. I am worn out with groaning and I can't find no rest, okay? I'm keep getting laid off my job. I'll keep getting laid off my jobs. I lost my family and I have no rest, okay? That's what this is about. I'm last off with groaning and I can't find no rest, okay? I keep getting fired off my job. I lost my family. I don't have no loved ones, okay? And I can't find no rest, okay? Yahweh told Jeremiah, tell Baruch and said, tell Baruch, Yahweh says, I am about to tear down. See, this is what this is about. What I have built it up and uproot what I have planted. I will do this throughout the whole earth. Are you looking for great things for yourself? Do not look for such things, for I, Yahweh, affirm that I'm about to bring disaster on all humanity, but I will allow you to escape with your life wherever you go, okay? See, that's the elect, okay? I'm worn out with groaning and I can't find no rest, okay? But Yahweh is going to allow us to escape wherever we go, okay? The book of Jeremiah 47, verse 6. How long would you cry out, O sword of Yahweh? How long will it be before you stop killing? Go back into your seed. Stay there and rest. But how can it rest when I, Yahweh, have given it order? I have ordered it to attack the people of Akron and the seacoast, okay? The so-called white man, okay? this sword is against the so-called white man. Okay, that's what this is about. Okay, how could he give it rest? Okay, that's what this is all about. Okay, if you want to know what this is all about, I'm worn out with groaning and I can't find no rest. Okay, turn to the book of Daniel. The book of Daniel is chapter 7, verse 25. He will speak words against the Most High. What's words against the Most High? Evolution. What's word against the Most High? Darwin's theory. What's speaking against the Most High? I'm an atheist. Okay, he will speak great words against the Most High. Okay, that's why this man got a Yahweh Shai laughs at this man because he sees this man's day is coming. Okay, that's what this is about. He speaks as the Most High. He will harass the holy ones, okay? Hyperinflation, okay? Laying us off our jobs, okay? Keeping resources back from us. Harass the holy ones of the Most High continually. He will attend to change times established by laws. The holy ones will be delivered unto his hands for a time and a half a time. And that time and half a time is just about up, okay? That time and half a time is just about up, okay? And this devil's gonna get what's coming to him, okay? Don't think Yahweh Shah's gonna leave this devil unpunished. And I'll leave you with this, with a few more verses. The book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1. At that time, Michael, the great prince who watches over your people, will arise. There will be such a time of distress, unlike any other from the nation's beginning up into that time. But at that time, your own people, all who are written, found written in a book, will escape. Many will Many of those who sleep in the dusty ground will awake, some to everlasting life, and to some to everlasting shame and abhorrence. What's the waking up with shame and abhorrence? You took the mark of the beast, and you had to get reincarnated, okay? And that's that shame on your legacy, okay? You took the mark of the beast, and everyone know it, because you had to get regenerated. Everlasting life is pieces. You got the first midnight train in Georgia out of here. You got your ticket in Yahushua and you got out of here. Also, what they call some so-called UFOs. To us, chariots of Israel. Okay, that's what this is about. Verse 3. But the wise will shine like the brightness of the heavenly expansion, and those who bring many to righteousness will be like the stars forever and ever. But you, Daniel, close up these words and seal the book until the time of the end. That's why no one knew. GMS got it though. Of the end, many will dash around and knowledge will increase. I, Daniel, watch on the other side of the river, one on each side of the river. One said to the man clothes and linen, who has who was above the waters of the rivers, when will these end? When will the end of these words, wondrous events occur? Then I heard a man clothed with linen who was over the waters of the rivers raise both his hands, right hands and left hands up to the sky, and made his oath to the one that lives forever. It will be for a time and half a time. Then when the power of the holy ones be shattered, the holy people be exhausted, and these things will be finished. I heard, and but I did not understand. So I said, Sir, what would be the things of the happening of these things? And he said, Go that way, Daniel, for these matters are closed for and sealed until the time of the end. Many will be purified and made clean and refined, but the wicked will go on being wicked. None of the wicked will understand, and though the wise will understand. And I'll stop it right there. Hopefully, you as well edified. Like to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.